Let's do this. Let's start from the beginning. So I wanted to tell you guys how I got into dancing, how I became a dancer, and yeah, a little bit about my background. So I actually started dancing very late. I think I was in my early 20s. And when I was younger, I never had anything I was good at. Like, I didn't do any sports or anything like that. I was more focused on school. I was, you could say I was a nerd. And yeah, I loved school, I loved learning stuff. And when I started, was it 6th grade? Yeah, like junior high school, 7, 8, 9th grade. We moved and I started a new school, and I didn't have really a lot of friends. I wasn't invited to any parties or anything like that. I focused on schoolwork, and which was good. I got good grades and started studying at university, and I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree that I thought I wasn't using, but I'm realizing I'm really using it in what I'm doing now, and I had no idea what I would be doing. So I have a bachelor's degree in political science and global development, and master's degree in social anthropology. So pretty much studied the world system and different cultures. So how I got to dancing, it started with the music. I always loved dancehall music before I knew what it was. And for some of you, you still don't know what it is, but you've probably heard it. And in some countries you call it reggae, but it's not reggae. Reggae is another genre of music that's also from Jamaica. So dancehall music is Jamaican music. And later on, when I was in high school, I learned what it was. And that was actually through Sean Paul and his album and those songs, Give Me the Light and all of those songs. And he got international recognition. It was after that I learned what dancehall was, and I realized that that's what I'd loved since Shabba Ranks in the 90s. But back then we didn't have internet or anything like that, and I was just a child, so you had to watch MTV and wait for those videos to come on. And you couldn't really choose at that time. For me anyways, as a child, and I didn't know that there were cassettes and later on DVDs to buy. If I had that from the start, I would start with dancehall earlier. Anyways, fast forward now back again to high school. We have internet. We don't have smartphones yet. So I think that's when YouTube came, when I was in high school, and you could start to search stuff. Yeah, and through the Sean Paul videos, and then from there I learned more about the dance and the culture, even though he don't really use so much Jamaican dancers in his videos, but it would still help me to find the other stuff. And that's when I realized that other artists that I've been listening to were also doing dancehall music, like TOK and Munga. And then later on, my artist was Vybz Kartel for a lot of years, like still is. So through the music, I was looking for the music, and I was interested in the dance. I don't remember how I knew there was a dance to music. I just knew there was, maybe through YouTube. And I was looking for someone who knew, or someone else was interested in this. And I searched at dance schools, but they didn't know what dancehall was neither. They used to have classes that said like raga or raga dancehall, and I tried one of those classes. Don't ask me how, because I don't know how, but I knew instantly that the people teaching there don't know what they're teaching. So it was basically they were teaching to dancehall music, but they weren't doing the actual dance. And then in 2008, I went to a dance hall event, and that's when I saw a girl dancing dancehall dance to the dancehall music. And this was Melpo. And it's through Melpo that I learned about the dance. And she teach classes. So me and my friend talked to her, and after that I joined a dance class with Melpo. from that class, I just knew this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is like, I instantly fell in love. Like, this is my passion. I never want to stop doing this. On so many levels, dancehall has just made my life so much better because first of all, it helped me deal with myself. Like, as when I was younger, I had a lot of issues with myself, a lot of built up frustrations. I didn't like who I was, like I didn't like my body. I was kind of my own enemy, which I know is the case for a lot of young girls. But from that first dance class, I just knew like that I had been obsessing about stuff for no reason. Like, my body, instead of looking at my body as in a critical way, like how it looked and whatever, through dancing I just started looking at my body as a tool that I could use to get to do what I love to do, you know. And so from that first dance class with Melpo, I just try to find more and more and more about dancehall and try to find parties and events. We had a club scene, we have some sound systems, but that scene is kind of separated from dancers. And back then, this was in like 2008, 2009, you didn't really have dancers. You had some dancers. You had Melpo, like in the city where I'm from, Stockholm. You had Melpo, and then you had Melpo students, enough crew. I didn't like them. I thought they were so annoying. It was these three girls who came to the parties and just thought they were the shit, and they just stood together doing combinations of steps, and I was like, who are these people? Who do they think they are? Now later on I'm realizing my reaction was because is the typical thing, I was jealous. I was feeling like, wow, what is this? Something I want to be a part of, but I wasn't part of it. And their group connection was so strong, and you really felt like you didn't feel welcome at all to join them. It's so funny. Fast forward a couple of years, I went to study in US for one semester. I was in North Carolina and studied at UNC Charlotte for 5 months. And this was right after I found Melpo and I found a small dancehall scene in Stockholm, and I was really upset that I had to leave because I had applied for this exchange program a year earlier. But I still went, and when I went to Charlotte, I started looking for dancehall over there too, and I found it. I found dancehall parties. I found a lot of Jamaicans, so I started hanging with them, started going to the parties. So like, I've been doing that ever since. Everywhere I go, I try to find the local dancehall scenes, and so in many places it's Jamaicans who live there, who play their music and who they go party and stuff, and in other places it's dancers from that country who's learned from Jamaica. And coming back to Sweden now in 2011, Melpo had left. She wasn't in Sweden anymore, and so the only people teaching dancehall in Stockholm was Enough Crew. And since I already had kind of not a great feeling about them, I wasn't sure I wanted to go. But then I asked another girl and I was like, so how are they? And she said, they're great. They teach real dancehall, just like Melpo. I was like, okay, I'll go. Like, just because there's not anything else. And this is so funny because I know a lot of you think Enough is even my name, but Enough is the crew that I joined. 2011, I went to an audition and they accepted me to become a part of their student group first. A year later, 2012, I became a part of the group. So Enough is the name of my dance group. Like, that's my belonging in the dancehall community here. So I put Enough on my name on when I'm public and on social media. Because that's my belonging in the dancehall scene here. And meeting Melpo and then becoming a part of Enough, those were the two things that really made me become a dancer. And a third thing. The third thing that started my solo career, because when I was a part of Enough, I didn't do any stuff by myself. I didn't have that idea. I never thought I was going to be a dancer. But two girls from my crew, Jackie and Linda, they asked me to enter the Dancehall Queen contest because they didn't want to enter alone. And I said, yes, okay, I'll do it. When the day comes, they didn't do it. They didn't do the competition. So I did it alone for my crew. And I won. And I was in shock. Like, I had never thought I was gonna win a competition. I never thought about entering competitions. I never thought about becoming a dancehall queen. And now I was the Swedish dancehall queen, 2013. And the feeling that I had when I walked out on the stage on my first performance, it was just like the first day that I tried to dance. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I felt so good on stage. I didn't want to leave, and I was so nervous before. Like, I couldn't eat, and I love food. I eat all the time. Like, a whole day before, I couldn't eat because I was so nervous. I had no idea what would happen. Like, will I just freak out? Will I not remember what to do? Will I just embarrass myself? I had never performed alone before, only with my group, and we had mostly done like more male style steps. I had never done this, like female shaking your butt in front of a whole boat. This was on a cruise ship, but it went so well. And from that, I started getting bookings. First it was like from people telling people about me. I remember my first performance, I think, was in Germany, in Berlin. And then after that, I started posting stuff on Instagram. And I was kind of late on Instagram, never had an idea about becoming a social media person either, but I started posting videos on Instagram, and I had a viral video where I'm dancing to a QQ song. And from that, I started gaining followers and started getting reaction on my videos, and it's like it became a thing where I would film myself dancing female stuff, and post it on Instagram, and that became my identity as a solo dancer. And before that, I hadn't really practiced much female stuff, only like by myself when I'm listening to Vibes Cartel, like in my headphones, you know. And I had been watching videos of Jamaican girls TikToking, but I could never do it. Like, I was just so fascinated by hip movements and by winding techniques. And then after a few years, and after the Dancehall Queen competition, I just started practicing more and more. And later on, I think it took like 5 years or something, then I realized, wow, I can TikTok. Like, how did this happen? Like, I could not do it for so many years. Head top too, that took me so long. When I entered the Dancehall Queen competition, I could not go on my head. I've always been flexible, like I just have that. I don't need to stretch a lot to be flexible, but I have really bad balance. I am clumsy. I have no like background training in dancing, so it's been really hard for me to learn to control my body. Yeah, but again, like, it's just whatever your body has, use what you have with your body. Use that. And whatever you don't have, you can train it, you can learn it. And that's just another way that I'm looking at my body in a more functional way, which is why I don't really care about looks and stuff, because that when you're a dancer, it really doesn't matter. Maybe if you're a ballet dancer or another type of dancer, but when you do dancehall, it doesn't really matter. Okay, yes, it's nice if you have a big ass. It enhances the movements when you shake your ass, but you really don't have to have that. You don't have to have any type of body. Like, anybody can dance dancehall, which is also one of the reasons why I love it. There's so many reasons why I love it. It's just a celebration of everything that you are. It's just like, here I am, and you all if you don't like me, you know. Yeah, I just love that. It's totally opposite from Swedish culture. Swedish culture is like, oh, sorry, excuse me, don't mind me, or don't let me disturb, and Yes, thank you. Like, it's nobody really, everybody's so afraid to be who they want to be, or just to be heard or be seen, which is why everybody dressed the same, everybody looked the same, and nobody want to stand out because they're just afraid of being judged, I guess. I don't know. I think everybody needs some dancehall. So, believe it or not, but I'm in my 30s, and I've gone through different stages of my life, like from being a nerd at school, studying a lot, staying home, and then to starting to travel, party, like, and becoming a dancer, getting attention and getting to do stuff. Like in my 20s, I've traveled so much. I've done music videos, like I've partied with Major Lazer and Diplo, and if I find, I have some videos of that. I'll put them here if I find out how to do that. I'm learning. I'm still learning how to use YouTube. I've been competing, performing, doing big shows, both with my group and as a solo dancer. And in the past years, I just reached a point where I wouldn't say that I've lost my passion, but I'm not hungry for it anymore, like for doing stuff and getting dance gigs. And also because since I've had children, I have a different focus, obviously, but it's still my passion. And so what I'm doing right now is more to try to find back that love that I felt from the start, because when you turn your passion into your work, you kind of forget why you started dancing in the first place, and it starts to become about different things, and it starts to become like something that you have to do, kind of. So I'm just trying to find back. So like right now, I don't listen to music. I don't really do stuff unless I have to. Like I wouldn't go out dancing if I don't have to. It sounds awful, but I still love it, and I still love the culture. I just do it in a different way. I guess I got old. So now my dancing career has changed a lot. It's clean. So now my dance career has changed a lot. Now it's more about teaching, and I'm trying to give people that feeling that I got from the start, that to show them that you can do this too. Like anybody can do this, and it's gonna make you feel so much better and feel connected to people in a different way. And also why I started organizing the trips to Jamaica, because I want to show people where it's coming from, what dancehall is, and I want to show them the people who have created it. Because sometimes the way the world works, and I'm also glad I have the studying background that I have, studying the global system, like it's kind of typical that people who have created stuff don't always get to be acknowledged for it. It's somebody else with more influence who will get acknowledged for doing what someone else created. And I think it's very important when you deal with like minority culture, like dancehall, that you really educate people in where it's coming from. But I'm loving to see it now, because when I started dancing, even people who wanted to do dancehall, they more looked up to international dancers who were doing kind of dancehall, kind of not really. But now I feel like people who do dancehall internationally, they more want the real deal, and they look at Jamaican dancers. We're still not all the way there, but like what I want is for people to really want the authentic dancehall, and I don't understand why you would want anything else. But yeah, so that's why I organize the trips to Jamaica, and like I feel it's very important to include the Jamaican dancers whenever you deal with their craft, you know. So I think I'm finished there. Was it anything else? I can show you my my dancehall tattoo. I used to have my neck shaved so you could see my tattoo better before. Yeah, dancehall is my passion. And Oh, I forgot to say that before becoming a dancer that I didn't thought I would become, I didn't really have that goal. I was studying that dancehall from a theoretical perspective, and I was turning my university studies into studies about dancehall. So I actually did my master's thesis about dancehall culture, and I went to Jamaica to do my field work, and that's how I met JR in 2012. And then after I finished my thesis, like that was the last part of my master's, I had my degree, and it was time for me to start, getting out there looking for jobs and stuff. But I just found that I was too busy dancing, so I didn't have time to look for a job or to try get, because I was interested in doing a PhD, and I just didn't have time to look for opportunities and to apply. I applied one time, I think, and got turned down. And then I just found myself too busy with dancing to pursue that. That's when I realized, I'm a dancer. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow. It's not always about, working hard, setting goals. Sometimes it's more about feeling what your passion is and just follow your heart. Kind of sound cliche, I guess, but that's what works for me anyways. I'll always just try to go with the flow and follow what feels right. And not really try to force anything to happen. But I think it also depends what situation you're in. Like, I've been lucky enough in life to not have to make a lot of money to go by, and I'm also not driven by making money. So I've had jobs on the side before just to make an income, but then after a while I started making money from the dancing so that I didn't have to do the other jobs. It's not like I won't get rich from it. Some people think you can get rich from it, but trust me, I'm not getting rich. So thank you for listening, and ask more questions if there's anything you wonder, maybe something I left out. So yeah, write a comment down below, and thank you for watching.